Riley, how old are you anyway?
I'm 23.
Like, I never really know. I've never known how old you are. I just kind of seen you as Riley, and I've never really like been like, yo,
Yeah.
Riley is this age.
Yeah, no, I am 23, and no one actually believes me when I tell them I'm 23. I mean, I got the baby face and everything, but yeah, I'm 23.
But I believe you when you say you're 23, and I knew you were older, right? I think this is what it is. I think that you weren't around.
True.
You weren't around me when you turned 21, and after 21, nobody cares.
True. Yeah.
Nobody.
Everyone stops caring about you after you turn 21.
How was your 22nd birthday?
22nd birthday. God.
I'm sure you
I probably didn't do it. I probably went out, but I don't.
Did it just not? How did it feel?
It was just 22. It was like another year. You know, the girls like it because they're feeling 22. They're Taylor Swift, but me, I was just like,
yeah. But before that Taylor Swift song, was that even
probably not? Probably not relevant at all. But when I turned 23, I wanted to have a big, little show because that's Jordan year, it's LeBron year. I mean, that's like 23 is just it's just a number, man. It's a really cool number. So, yeah, when I turned 23, I went hard.
Well, Riley Harshman is the next moron. For those of you guys that don't know, it's just one of those weird questions I just had to ask on the top of the show. We had Chris Stewart on. We're in that new studio, man. What do you like? Do you like this one?
Yeah, I've done a few podcasts. Yeah, I've done some harsh truths in here, and yeah, I like this room, but I mean, I guess it's equipped for what we're doing right now. I mean, it's definitely equipped for what I was doing.
Well, you've seen previous episodes of this podcast,
yeah,
and I actually really enjoy the aesthetic of this room.
Yeah,
it's very light.
Yeah, they got the cool lights and stuff in the windows.
Yeah, Chris Stewart, credit to him.
Yeah,
putting all these up.
Really cool. I remember last semester, like there were lights around the table and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it definitely gives you that vibe that you're in the radio room.
Absolutely dope. So you know what? We just said hi to Javon Hagan. He's over there. That's the great thing about this podcasting room. You have great guys walking by, and look, he's just saying hi to us right now, dude. But Riley, how many times do you go to the bars per week at Ohio University? That's my question.
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. But I probably go at least 4 times a week. I'd say easily 4 times a week. Definitely Friday, Saturday.
Oh,
and then, I mean, definitely the Wednesday. I got one of my best friends here works at a bar, so I get great deals. So why not go to the bars, get a little tipsy, for $5.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good time, man. You're 23 too. You can kind of own it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm 20. I've never been to the bars.
As much as anyone wants to believe that watches this.
No,
Lukas has never been to the bars.
We know, but I'm not gonna hype it up or anything. It's something that's just commonly done by college students. But I want to do this bar power ranking thing.
Yeah.
With you.
Yeah.
I want to do this.
Around.
You've been around. You've been around the bars. You've got a better opinion on them than me because I'm not at them a lot. Right. And honestly, as I've actually grown in my college career, I've kind of stepped away from them until it's legal for me because it's just the risk is not worth it. A lot of the things that come with it is just it's not worth the potential of all those things that come with it.
Right.
Being under 21, and we can get into that issue a little bit later too. Like why? Well, that's just ridiculous. That you have to be 21.
Yeah.
I mean, we can get into that in a second, though. But let's talk about the bar power rankings.
Okay.
Right? So we talked about this. There's 20 bars?
Yeah, I'd say about 20. There's quite a few in just a small, section of, I don't know, real estate.
I've heard 19. I've heard 19 is, the official count. I'm not sure. Do you know what the official count is, Clayton?
My dad has a shirt that I believe says 30 bars, 2 libraries. So,
well, I mean, I guess
if you go,
I think it's 19. I think it's 19 in the Court Street, Union Street area. Yeah. But if you go way down,
I'm sure you can find somewhere else.
I don't know. Cass Corner's probably not in the count.
But it is right next to Skull.
But I don't think Skull's on the count for a lot of them either. I think it's 19 in that area because that's pretty far down there. I don't think the Skull's going to end up in your power rankings.
It's not going to end up in my power rankings, but I want to go there because I have karaoke.
They do have karaoke night.
They have karaoke night. That's tonight. I just realized.
So we're recording on a Wednesday night. Top 3, bottom 2. Okay. And you can make whatever criteria you want. Whatever reason you rank them as your favorite 3.
I'll start with the positive. Top 3. Number 1, absolutely. The College Inn, the CI. I don't know. I mean, they got 2 different bars, and their bartenders.
You know, that was actually the first bar in Athens.
Yeah,
I believe.
I think it was the first bar in Athens. And I mean, the bartenders are the best. Obviously, like I said, my roommate works there, so I always get deals. But I know a lot of the other bartenders there. So you got David, you got John Mike, you got Justin Falkenbach, you got Claire. Like, I don't know, they're
it's like an Oscar speech, making sure you get all the
right, get all the people I'm thanking for, you know, my alcoholism the past few years. But I mean, I hardly ever wait for a drink at the CI. Even when those people aren't working, like, I feel like at the CI, I don't really wait for a drink.
Yeah.
And that's why it's got to be number 1 for me, because that's the point. You're at the bar. Like,
well, you and I played pool there a few times. It's a lot of fun. Honestly, I've had the most fun with you at the CI.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere. I mean, they got 3 pool tables, so that's definitely a big part of it. I mean, you get peanuts for free, so if you're feeling a little a little up there,
peanuts for free?
You just ask them for peanuts and they'll get them for you. Don't ask David Craver, though, because he's allergic to peanuts and he won't get them.
Yeah,
and he'll just ignore you.
What do you just ignore? Like, he should probably say, I'm allergic to peanuts. I'll get
like, if it was like me or one of our roommates, he'd probably be like, yeah, no. But if it was somebody else, he'd probably get someone else to grab them.
I could have just you can get peanuts at the CI?
Yeah, you can get peanuts, man. They're good peanuts, I must say.
Like, are they full shell peanuts? Do you
they're shell, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
This is a game changer for me now. This is a game changer. I'm still hung up on Lucas saying that he went to the CI. I'm still surprised by that. You're 20. I'm very surprised by that.
What do you mean? Listen, I went, just whatever. I played pool at the CI before.
You're only young once.
That's right. Okay, number 2 for you.
Number 2, Stevens. They got 3 bars. So, like, you go to the one at the top on, like, the dance floor. If that's a little packed, okay, you go down another floor.
The main
that one
bar.
might be a little packed.
That's
the main bar. And then you go down another one. There's no.
See, but downstairs at Stevens, always country music.
True.
And
that
I don't
is
know.
one.
Like,
I'm not
that's
a big
always
country
the
guy
not
either.
busy bar. So you go down there and then you keep hanging out. And then you're like, man, I don't know if I could deal with this music any longer. I love country. There's some certain country songs that I really love. But it can grind on you, man. It's just the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing about Stevens. All right, what's number 3?
Number 3, this one's tough because it's between J Bar and Seaside. I'm gonna go with Seaside. Sorry, J Bar. I definitely go to J Bar more than Seaside, but I like Seaside more, especially now this time of year. It's getting nicer. Patio, phenomenal. And, like, they got the TVs out there, man. So, like, opening day, I like to go to Seaside because you sit out the patio, you watch opening day, baseball's back. It's phenomenal. And then, I mean, they got slice night, like that's tonight. So you get, 50-cent pizza. I mean, you can't beat that when you're a college student. You get pitchers. I mean, they got 2 bars, too, and they usually work through everybody pretty quick. So, I mean, that's probably my top criteria for bars. How quick do I get my drink, and how cheap is it when it comes to me?
Okay, my top criteria is like atmosphere. How do I feel when I'm there? Because, sometimes at the CI, if I'm not playing pool, especially, sometimes it depends who I'm with, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a couple bars that it doesn't even matter who you're with. It just has a good energy about it. It has a good atmosphere. You feel like you're supposed to be having a good time when you're there. And number 1 to me, I think is courtside. I really do. Mm-hmm. It's the sports aspect of it. Yeah. I think if you're a sports fan, courtside is the
best.
Have
so many TVs.
The memories I've made there in terms of, LeBron James game winner, I celebrated there. There's a lot of sporting events I've watched there. Slice night a bunch. It's just a lot of good memories, good times. Mm-hmm. I think the music is always good. It's never, wow, they're really playing some good music tonight, but you're never disappointed with the music at courtside. And you mentioned the patio. I mean, it's so nice to sit out there. It's where I take my parents when they come into town, and I think that means it's the number 1.
Yeah.
Right? It's got to be the number 1 for me. Number 2, this is where it gets difficult. This is where it kind of all just – number 2 for me has got to be Bronies for the same reasons. For the same reasons as courtside.
More of a
atmosphere,
sports bar.
You got food, the sports are good. I really enjoy Bronies. The type of drink specials they have, they're not necessarily the cheapest, but they're the most like fun and entertaining a lot of times. So I really enjoy what they do there. So Maybe, but those are also the two that are closest to my house. So maybe I'm just a little bit biased.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it's a laziness factor. Like, I never lived on West, and I always say Boyd is my least favorite dining hall. And that might just be because I never lived over at Boyd, so I hated going there because it's a long walk.
I loved, like, even if I wasn't, like, if it was a long walk, I still loved Boyd. Like, it was, I think, the healthiest. I mean, they had plenty of options, at least when we went there.
Not to go off on that path, because we are talking about bars, not dining halls, unfortunately, in this segment. But, all right, number 3, if Bronies is 2. See, then it's like I'm picking them between. It's hard for me to kind of pick. I would say number 3 for me is Pyramids, which is the hookah lounge. It's just because I know a bunch of people there, right? That's where I met my good friend Caleb Moon, who was on this podcast. Like, it's just I know the people there, so I walk in there, I'm comfortable, man. I think the DJs they play are pretty good. I like the music they play a lot of times.
DJ Hats.
It's not like the classic atmosphere that everybody's looking for, but man, I always have a lot of fun.
I played beer pong there a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. You got a beer pong table. You kidding me?
That was fun.
They've got, like, come on. What else?
I'm a great beer pong player, so every time I can show out.
It's like Pigskin's got. I love the games that Pigskin has.
Yeah, they got ping pong.
Yeah, exactly. I mean Pigskin's one of my. Listen, whatever. All these bars are really good. Like, you really should go to any of them if you're visiting town as an alumni or as a student or anything like that. I think.
I definitely think there's probably a few you could probably skip, but for the grand majority of it, I mean, like you're.
All right,
like
what are
you
your
said,
bottom 2?
Bottom 2, number 1, Crystal. I don't like Crystal at all. I always wait forever for a drink, and I swear one time when I was at Crystal, I asked for a Coors Light. They said $3. I gave them a $5. And then I got $1 back, and I was like, "You said $3."
Was that a premature tip? Was that?
I was like, "Yeah." Did they just take their tip for themselves? I'm just left with that because maybe I wanted to decide you don't deserve a tip because I could go back there, grab a bottle out of a fridge, and crack it open. Like you don't. I mean,
like when the Browns finally won a game, right?
If you watch The Office, if you watch The Office, they. Dwight was supposed to pay for a pizza, and he's like, "Why would I tip someone for something I can do myself?"
Oh man!
Like for a bar, like just getting a beer at a bar.
Bill Burr
I could definitely do that myself.
Bill Burr has a famous joke. He's talking about self checkout. He's like, "I just want to fill a grocery cart full of food, go to the self checkout, stand there for a second, look around, and go, guess they don't want to get paid, and then walk out the door with the groceries." And then they're like, "Hey, you can't just walk out with the groceries." Like, I brought it up. I was waiting for somebody to ring it up. Nobody was there, so I figured it was free. Which would be just
if it works.
A hilarious concept. All right, what's your second least favorite?
Probably Red Brick. And that was like a bar that I really went to a lot when I first came to OU. I mean,
I think Red Brick has a special place in a lot of people's heart.
For sure.
And
Freshman
always will.
And everything.
And always will. But, these are power rankings. Yeah. And it's just kind of, it's sticky.
Yeah. It definitely
A couple of the TVs are a little
staticky.
You better hope your favorite team's not on that TV when you walk in on the upper right there. Because you ain't seeing nothing. You better be right up next to it.
The only time you'll catch me at Red Brick, and this has been for the past 2 years at least, the only time you'll catch me at Red Brick is during Brick Break because that's a phenomenal special. You can get a bucket full of ice with 5 beers in it for $5. And then you get mega mugs, those big-ass mixed drinks, and
I need to go to Brick Break.
That's like $3
A friend of mine and his cousin used to go to Brick Break and just lay down $5 each and then, get 10 bottles. That's how you do it.
That's a start, man.
But again, a friend of mine.
Yeah, that's a start. 5 beers is definitely a start, and you get them for $5. Throw $1 or $2 to the bartender's way. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
That's
a good deal for everybody. I think All right, my bottom 2. I really respect the Skull. I love what they got going on down there, but I can't stand being in there sometimes. I really can't.
That's the one bar I think I've not been to in this town.
You haven't been to the Skull?
I want to go.
Dude, you just got to walk in there, man.
I got to go on karaoke night and just rock out.
You just got to walk in there. That's all you got to do. My second least favorite is Casa.
Casa. I totally forgot about Casa.
Casa is a Mexican restaurant.
Casa's a
Like, I
bar?
respect it. I love eating at Casa. The food's great, but like, I used to get so annoyed when people I hang out with were like, "Oh, we're all going to Casa," and I'm like, "Oh, so you want me to wait in a long line to listen to music that I don't know?" No thanks.
No. Yeah.
And I really love like what Casa's got going on. It's just not my vibe.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing. Like they're a greatly run business. I love what they do with the tips. I love their food, and I think the atmosphere they create is really good for the people that go there. But for me, it's just not some place that I'm anywhere seeking to go. For me, power rankings, they're in the bottom two.
Yeah.
I
feel that. Definitely. I mean, yeah, the atmosphere, like you said. Yeah, I've been to Casa once, and it's because my parents actually came down because they knew a guy that was playing in one of the bands. So that was like a really good experience.
Yeah.
But that was the only time I went. But I remember me and my friends were there too, and we were just kind of looking around. And I was like, if I didn't know the guy playing in this band, I would not be here right now. Like, not at all. And their food, we had quesadillas. Quesadillas, like you said, their food is good. They were good. But like,
I like the setup of
I would not be there.
Yeah, I mean the
The setup
right.
is cool.
You wouldn't catch
So
me there.
Riley, where did you transfer from?
Sinclair Community College in Dayton, Ohio.
Dayton.
Ooh,
Nice.
they have a top basketball player right now.
Yeah, I mean Sinclair's
Dayton's-
got a pretty good
Dayton,
basketball.
UD's after him.
Yeah,
Right?
I think they're
Sinclair,
D2 of junior college.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah,
Their
I had a
baseball
buddy.
team's
I had a
pretty
buddy
good,
go.
too.
Do you know Kalen Frederick, real tall guy?
No,
I feel like I've asked you that before.
maybe.
I definitely
don't think
have.
I do.
He's
'Cause you
definitely known by
mentioned-
his height.
You've definitely mentioned Sinclair. Well, anyway, Kalen's a real tall guy that went to Sinclair. I just didn't know if you guys went there near the same time. So what was that like? Like, what was the decision? Why Sinclair? Like,
Save the money.
save the money.
Yep.
So was it always the plan through high school?
Yeah. It definitely, as I got closer to graduating and everything, it definitely became more of a, I should probably just stay home. Because, I had a job when I was 16. I was already stacking up money. So I was thinking, just stay here another 2 years, keep stacking up my money, then go somewhere bigger where I can kind of splooge, like divulge my money and just, be a dumbass, really, in college. And, like, OU was always that next step because I always wanted to be a sports journalist. And OU has one of the best journalism programs in the country, probably the best in the state. So I've always thought that this was
And you were looking for that fun atmosphere
exactly
as well. And it provides
party
it.
school, and it's definitely the best decision of my life, without a doubt.
That's a heavy to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, it is heavy to think about. I've been thinking about it a lot lately because I'm about to leave.
Yeah, the best decision of your life.
Yeah.
What's that like for you, the pending graduation?
I feel two ways about it because I definitely am going to be sad, not living this lifestyle anymore, not seeing, all the friends that I've made all the time because these are, there are a lot of people I care about here. And that's going to suck, not seeing them every day and everything. But also I just want to get moving on with my life too.
Yeah.
I want to get everything rolling. I want to get my career started. I want to, be an adult. I've been trying to be an adult for a couple of years now, and it's just like the school thing has been in my way, and now I'm about done with it, and now I can, fly really. I've been in Ohio my whole life. I want to go somewhere else. I want to, live life like it should be lived.
Yeah, it's like the human condition
Yeah.
to want to do, to get something done. And, Joe Rogan talks about this a lot. We have this idea that we need to seek comfort in life. Like, you need to retire. You need to put all your money away. You need to, lay back, relax, man, relax. That's what life's all about.
Right.
But I don't know. Like the times I'm most depressed, the times that I'm most in my head are when I'm not doing things just like this. And things like this, when I'm doing something that I love to do, you feel productive, you feel like you've gotten something done, you feel like you've accomplished something, and you had fun doing it. It's the most fulfilling thing that I have. It's the most fulfilling thing that I do, and it's just a stress reliever. Like, I'll admit I was pretty stressed walking into this podcast. Well, like an hour and a half before the podcast, but here we are, just on, and it's so. I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is, but I found my thing. I found the thing that I like to do that everybody has. Everybody has that thing they like to do. And I think that a lot of us should, instead of trying to stack enough money to become comfortable,
Right.
we should be trying to stack enough memories that we can sit back on our deathbed and be like, man, I lived a good life.
So I feel like that's where the real wealth is, like how you lived your life and how everyone else around you perceives you. And how just pretty much like you said, those memories, like that's at the end of the day, we're all going to be on the ground anyways. We can't take what we have.
Yeah.
We can't take what we have money wise, wherever we go next.
How about this analogy?
Okay.
I think humans are all snowflakes.
Okay.
So I had this epiphany. I took a walk. I took a walk one time when it was snowing. I was all up in my head. And so I'm sitting there, I'm walking, and I'm like, all right. I'm looking at these snowflakes, and I just have this epiphany, like, wow. Humans are all snowflakes. Here's why. They all look really similar from a distance, right? They all have the same habits, same routines, same way of doing things. They walk similar, right? Everybody's got a MacBook, iPhone, whatever. Yeah. Everybody looks pretty much the same, but they're all unique, all very, very unique. And snowflakes are, although they've found snowflakes that are identical already, but let's just keep the myth up that they are very much unique when you get close and when you really talk to them and find out what they are. They also, their destination, their path, it's not really determined by them. And I think that's true for humans too. It's determined by your environment, by the snowflakes around you, by the other humans around you. And then the size of these snowflakes, which we can say is wealth, doesn't depend on those snowflakes at all most of the time. It's about the snowflakes they run into and the momentum they build up towards the ground, all those things. But just like humans, all the snowflakes end up in the same place.
Yeah.
The ground.
Yep.
They all end up there. Mm-hmm. So really, I think life becomes about enjoy the journey to the ground because we're all ending up there.
Yeah.
Like you may be a snowflake that's in a blizzard. You may be a really fat snowflake. You might be a really tiny one. But we're all ending up in the same place. Mm-hmm. And if you're too busy worried about the ground, you're going to miss everything that's around you because if you're just staring at the ground, you're going to miss it. I mean, because you're not going to see all the beautiful things that you're passing as you fall through the sky. And, if you're worried about all the snowflakes around you, you miss the wider beauty of the world too. So I think that it was just this weird epiphany I had about life and about the uniqueness of it and just this unnecessary urge we have to need things, to stack cash, to these things that don't matter. They really don't. I mean, we can say they do, and I think money is valuable for the memories and experiences that it provides me. Like you just said, you were able to stack it up, and I think you did the right thing because your work at Sinclair, your work from 16 years old on, allowed you to have the memories that you're having now at OU because you have the income to spend, right? That is so important. I think everybody needs a job, and you need to try to stack income because you need that to have those memories and experiences. It's like water for a snowflake. You need that. You need that in your life. But people value it.
Yeah.
Like look at the billionaires and trillionaires who they literally just want the number to get bigger. It's like a game. It's like a scorecard. There's no meaning in it. There's no value in it. Like if you pull up your bank account on your phone, which we all can do, like does it change your life that day if it's 15,000 instead of 10?
Yeah.
Or 5 instead of 3? No, it might change it when a situation happens. It might change it when you want to go shopping.
Your car breaks down.
Yeah, exactly. It might change it when there's memories, and that's why money's important. But is that going to change your next 3 hours? Definitely not.
Yeah.
So life is so much more than that. Life is so much more than retirement. I think everybody needs to find something that they like to do, and they should do it every day. They should find something that challenges them, and they should do it every day. And I don't know why I got all that from snowflakes, but I definitely did.
I was about to say, I would like to see that snowflake you were looking at when that thought came
There were
in
many.
your
There were
mind.
many.
That must have been
It
a
is
big
Ohio.
old snowflake. I mean, that's just insane right there. Like, that was deep within a 5-minute talk about snowflakes.
Yeah.
But it's so true.
But here's the thing, like people can have these thoughts too. I mean, I'm not weird for having this. I just decided one night to go for a walk, leave your headphones. Leave them, right?
Yeah.
And then record, like just stop and look at the world. Listen to silence. Listen to people. Listen to the world around you. And I'm a guy that likes to have headphones in, right? I've done it before. I like listening to music.
Same.
I get podcasts. I get research done, right? I can listen to sports shows throughout the day. I can get information. I can listen to news reports. I always have my headphones in. I like listening to music too.
Right.
I usually have my headphones in, but at least once a week, probably twice, I try to take a walk, whether it be 10, 15 minutes without them in, without looking at my phone.
Yeah.
Just to get that worldly experience around you. Because I think we get lost in this. We get lost in this.
Yeah.
We get lost in our bubble, we are privacy. We want to be us. We want to be our music, our friends, our favorite bar, nothing else. And I think that really limits growth.
One way you can look at that is, even here, like think about this. We're all just talking about on a podcast right now. Our phones are the cameras. We have no access to our phones.
And isn't
right
it relaxing?
No.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. It's very relaxing. There's times I will put my phone on Do Not Disturb or airplane mode or both for hours, just so I don't have to hear anybody or read anything that I don't want to read, or because sometimes, I mean, I love Twitter, I love Instagram, but sometimes you're just reading through that stuff and it's just a bunch of bull. And
yeah,
I mean, that type of stuff. I mean, and there's a lot of negativity,
and it hurts relationships too, man.
Yeah,
because there's this random new expectation, and I'm not innocent of it either. There's this random new expectation that you need to talk to your significant other 24 hours a day, and if you're not, there's something wrong, right? Oh, why didn't you text me between the hours of 2 and 6, right? That's just so irrational. Yeah. It's irrational that that's a thing. Do you know how relationships used to work, right? You'd say, arranged. I'll see you at 8, all right? Yeah. And that's it. I'll see you at 8. If I don't see you at 8, I'll call you at 8:30, talk to you till 10. That's how they used to work. Like, that's how it used to be for everybody. And then you would really like the person, then you'd spend more and more time together until you decided to live together. And then even when you live with the person, you don't want to talk to them 24 hours a day. Do you know how hard that is?
That's why you gotta
go
to work.
Do you know how insanely difficult it is to try to talk to somebody 24 hours a day? And there's people listening to this, well, you just haven't found the right person. I love talking to my hubby.
What is this voice
24
you're doing all
hours
of
a day
now?
Right? Like, I just find it so fake.
Yeah.
Because it's not real.
Kind of like your voice.
You're engineering conversation. You're engineering a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think that it's about face-to-face connection. It's about, talking to people. And I think that's one of the things that technology has taken away from us is it's added to us. It's added this expectation that the person that's closest to us needs to be in constant contact.
Right. Because there's so many different apps, different avenues to communicate with each other. And like, I mean, there'll be some people, like, I'll be talking to them on 3 different, social medias. I'll be on FaceTime, I'll be on Snapchat with them, and I'll be on like a Twitter group chat or something with them. And it's just,
or even texting them.
I mean, there's just so many different avenues you can use now to communicate, where it is good in some aspects. Like, I mean, I'm here at OU. I have friends back in Dayton that's 2 hours away. If I want to, talk to my people that are back there or in Cincinnati or wherever else they may be, I can communicate with them in those ways. Yeah. And that's one positive we can get from that. But I mean, man, if I'm seeing you every day, I don't need to be talking to you on my phone every day.
Would you rather, my thing for you guys is, would you rather talk to someone like on the phone, or would you rather text them? I get people are busy, but at the same time, if they really are an old friend, and like if they have a second,
depends.
Like, I'm one of those people, I'll pick up a phone and I could be busy as anything, but if I see it's someone, a good friend of mine, or someone who either I called before when I was free and now I'm busy, I'm still picking up that phone, even if I can literally only talk for 3 minutes. Is that how do you guys feel about that?
I think it depends on the person. Because like you said, if it's a really good friend that you genuinely want to talk to, then I want to talk to those people on the phone. But there's other people where they'll text me, hey, do you got time to, talk on the phone today? And I'll straight up say no, even though I might. But I just don't want to talk to them on the phone, because I feel like for some people, that conversation that they want to have, we can have it over text. And I don't.
It really depends. I think it depends on the context. I think it's about context.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. What are you talking about? What do we need to talk about?
Right.
Does information need to be relayed? I want to call you. I'm going to call you if I need to get information to you.
It's serious.
Hey, I need you to pick this up. Like today, Clayton did a great job. He helped pick up the tripods. I was running to practice. I didn't have time to pick it up. I wasn't going to text him and wait for a response to make sure it got done. I called him and said, hey, this needs to get done. Right. And I think that the quicker you need information relayed, and the more important the information is, the more important a phone call is. And the people that are against phone calls when I'm trying to organize plans with you is ridiculous. I'm trying to use the phone call so I can stop talking to you through technology so that we can get together in person. Right. I'm not going to text you, wait 5 minutes for a response because you're busy looking at videos on Twitter. Like, I'm sitting outside, like, let's go. It's just one of those things.
I agree with that statement. I think the more you think about it, the more you. If it's a last minute thing, then I'm calling them. Like if it's a spur of the moment thing, I'm calling them. Now, if they don't answer, do I just not text them? Yes, I'm texting them to see what they're up to, if they're busy, if the idea could go later on in the day. You know what I mean? Because while you try to live in the moment, you still try to plan ahead, and sometimes you don't want to overthink it either. I think that's another thing that phones caused.
No, phones cause overthinking, without a doubt. Like, oh, why'd they post that on their story?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are they
dude,
doing?
those are the worst type of people that just exaggerate just little things on social media and making them way bigger than they are because it's social media.
We're all victim of it, though.
Oh, yeah.
Even though you say you hate people, Riley, you've definitely done it. You've definitely done it. You've definitely had some sort of, I don't know, whether it be a friendship, relationship, and you're like, what's that?
Now that I'm thinking about it, like some sports stuff, I'll definitely get mad about. But like in terms of just like interrelationship stuff, no, I really don't take Twitter, Instagram, anything like that seriously. Yeah.
But like you definitely have before, at least a little bit. You definitely aren't immune to it. You definitely had to battle through it. Well, at least even when you were a kid, like you were 12, 11. 13, 14,
yeah.
maybe a little bit. Definitely. You're like,
I forgot about those.
You were petty, like you were petty on social media. That's how it used to be. Yeah. That's why kids shouldn't have this thing, man.
Yeah,
hey,
it's really, really bad.
Some kids get phones way too early. I feel like nowadays.
I agree with that statement, Riley. What really made you decide to what you said that you don't use Twitter for relationships or like what do you
I try
what
not
do you use?
To,
Well, what do you use Twitter for? I use it try and get the fastest information about sports I can.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
Ian Rappaport. NFL free agency happened. First time I've done this. NFL free agency happened, and I literally went. I turned on his tweet notifications. Adam Schefter, all of them. Yeah. It just was a thing I felt was needed this year. That way I could see the latest news as it happened on the fly.
Right.
But that's honestly mostly what I try to use Twitter for, which I think at times I overthink, and then it just comes to me wanting to be overthinking enough to where I need to look at other stuff on Twitter too.
You have information. You have information overload.
Yeah.
Right. You're flooding your system with too much of that one thing. You got to be balanced. Like you got to find another interest. Like you got to change it up. I don't know what, but like comedy, memes, something. Mm-hmm. You can't just be sports.
Right.
And if you are, you got to know how to lay off Twitter. Like, I don't really want to look at that right now. Or I don't want to read that article right now. Sure. Like, we have too much information. Like, we have now entered the space that, like, people used to be like, okay, what am I going to read to learn? Like, I got to go find a paper. I got to go find a TV show I like. Now it's like, okay, what do I not need in my life? What do I not want to learn? What do I not want to look at? Because we've got too much of it. There's so much to go through. Like, who are you? The question is, like, not who are you going to follow about football news, but who are you not going to follow? Because if you're going to follow everybody that covers the NFL, I mean, you're going to be on a long list.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's like 7,000 Twitter followers. Twitter following, like, just not healthy. What do you keep your following count? Do you care?
Not really.
No.
I don't. Yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. I follow who I need to follow.
I keep mine down. I'll be honest about it. If I don't know you anymore, like, and you haven't liked one of my tweets in a while. And especially if you don't follow me, see ya.
I follow like 1,500
There's a lot of
people.
accounts too that I follow. There's a lot of accounts that I follow too that are completely just not active anymore. Like, why would I need to follow them? Yeah. So I always go through and like cleanse my account. Here's the weird thing though. As soon as I started unfollowing people and cleaning that number up, my follower count went up. Went up pretty drastically, significantly. I don't know what that is about, but it was pretty. Excuse me. Wow. It was pretty wild to see.
You good over there?
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm good. Wow. Do you like Owen Wilson?
I do like Owen Wilson.
What's your favorite Owen Wilson movie?
Favorite Owen Wilson movie?
That's the question.
That's a good question.
It is?
I'm trying to think of some.
Wedding Crashers.
Oh, okay. That was the one I was really like on the tip. I'd probably say
Marley and Me if you want to go.
I was gonna say I was thinking Marley and Me, but that's also
Me and
sad.
Dupree?
No.
That one's pretty funny. I don't know why I find that movie funny, but I find it pretty funny.
What's it about?
It's Matt Dillon and his like wife. They are like living together.
Wait, Matt Dillon?
Yeah, the actor Matt Dillon.
I thought you were mixing him up with Matt Damon.
No, it's Matt Dillon.
Who's Matt Dillon?
Yeah, who's Matt?
You ever seen The Outsiders?
Yes.
He was Dally.
Oh, he was Dally. Okay.
Guy who dies.
Yeah.
Spoiler: he dies at the end. But
Spoiler.
Don't need to watch that movie
that
anymore.
movie that's been out for 40
Clayton
years.
hasn't seen The Outsiders.
I'm not a movie guy. Like
It's been out for 40 years. So.
I just watched a movie from 1987 because my cousin was like, it was his birthday. He's like, you need to watch it. So I literally watched it on his birthday because he told me to. Hey, it was cheaper than buying a
Dude, you would like
birthday
movies,
gift.
though. You would like them. I think
You're
you'd
right,
like
but
movies.
then I'll watch
I like
the movie
movies.
and I'll
all right, well, hold on.
I'll overthink it.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. You knew that pretty quickly. So why?
Absolutely. Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah.
My roommates hate it because I'll be watching that movie and I'll quote the Joker every time he comes on the screen. When he's on the screen, I'm focused on it, and I've seen the movie.
Why don't you do something?
God knows how many times.
What's your favorite line? What's your favorite Joker
so
line
many.
in the movie?
There's so
You got to
many.
pick one, and it better be your favorite because you don't give me a line that's not actually your favorite.
Okay, let me think. Got to think it through. All right. Would you like to know how I got these scars?
Oh, so you picked the.
My father was a drinker and a fiend. He's got a knife up to that guy's mouth. I just love that part. And then he just goes through that whole. It's just such a chilling speech that he gives them. And then he just looks at one of the guy's goons and says, "Why so serious?" And just slits his throat, lets him drop. And then he breaks the pool stick and says, "We're having tryouts," and just throws in between three dudes. Like, winner gets to stay with us. And the other two are done. It's just. He's a savage.
Yeah.
He's unreal. He's like the best movie villain I think I've ever seen.
I love movie lines that have that type of whew, that was good. Like, wow. I think one was, have you ever seen the movie Lincoln?
Is that the one with Daniel Day-Lewis?
Yes.
I think I have seen that one. Yeah.
There's a line where he like slams his fist on the table and he's like, "I'm the president of the United States," is basically what he said. Like, decorated in immense power. And the way he delivered, he said, "In immense power, you will procure me these votes." And just like dropped off the table, and you're like, "Yes, sir, I will be procuring those votes. I don't even know what I need to do. I'm on my couch right now in 2019, but I will get you those votes, Daniel Day-Lewis, because I know you need them." Because wow, like just lines like that. Al Pacino's speech in Any Given Sunday, legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary. Sylvester Stallone in some of his Rocky moments.
Oh, yeah.
Legendary. I
Never
love
seen
him.
Rocky. Never seen Rocky.
Oh my gosh. Well, we'll just ignore you for this conversation.
Rocky. Like that.
That's what everybody says though when I talk about that.
If he dies.
I never wanted to punch someone more in my life than the first time I saw Rocky, and he said that. Like,
Oh, you mean Ivan Drago or?
Yeah, Drago. Yeah.
Yeah.
When he says that, I never wanted to punch anyone more in my life.
If he
and
dies, he
that movie came out during a time where the Cold War was still really hot and
Yeah.
everything, and like everyone just hated that dude because he was Russian, and they hated him even more than when Rocky beats him. Sorry, another spoiler, but
Can't watch any of these
mean,
movies
just
because of Riley
phenomenal.
now.
They're 40 years old. If you haven't seen them yet, then I mean, sorry, I can't keep you in the dark forever, man.
Hey, I will say The Lost Boys. That's the movie I watched the other night. Very good movie. It's about vampires. It was very unique. It was really weird. Really
I've
weird.
heard of it. I don't think I've seen that one.
Dude,
though.
you're on something else today.
What do you mean?
You're having some weird sidebars.
Yeah, you're just like.
Do you want me? Hold on.
No, I like the tangents,
the
but like.
reason I'm having weird sidebars is I'm trying new things. So if you want me to stick with sports, I mean, I can throw out a sports thing.
I don't want you to just.
Opening
stick with
day
sports.
is in MLB tomorrow.
I'm just like,
boom. There's the sports thing. You're welcome.
Clayton,
Lucas.
I'm just like, we're in the middle, like, and they're not like bad stories. I'm not saying that they're entertaining, but like. We're just in the middle of a tale, and then you're like,
yeah.
So my cousin, 1987.
I mean, we were
My
talking
cousin,
movies.
1987.
Like
My cousin, 1987.
It's the first movie
felt the
I've
need
seen
to
in
mention
3
it.
years.
10 years.
I didn't say it's the first one. I didn't say it's the first one that I've done in 3 years, guys. Like,
What were we even talking about?
we're
at
movies.
one
That's
point.
why we're on this right now.
What's your favorite movie of all time, Mr. Aviators?
You said, I remember you asked me. I said The Dark Knight, but if I had a, if you're
Wait. My fault.
But and then, like,
What's your favorite movie of all time other than The Dark Knight? Because the Dark, you knew that too easily. Okay, how about this? Not what's your favorite?
It's between two, and they're both baseball movies with Kevin Costner.
What's your favorite movie that other people don't consider very good? Like one that you're like, yeah, I know it sucks, but I love it. It's got a special place in my heart. Like that one is any Star Wars movie that people criticize. Like I don't care. I really don't.
Star Wars movies. We can't get you on that tangent.
No,
but
please no.
It's morons with who? We'll go on that.
I don't know. I thought we're all
want to go on that.
I didn't know you were the only.
Don't
moron
tempt me
here.
with a good time and some Star Wars. I'll tell you that much. Dark Knight 1.
But I mean, I don't know how other people feel about these two movies, but Field of Dreams and Bull Durham are two of
those
my
are legendary.
I mean,
Field of Dreams.
I
Wow.
mean, those movies are just phenomenal.
Field of Dreams is so good.
Like that's
James Earl
one movie
Jones.
that will get the tears throbbing.
You know what movie James Earl Jones is in?
He's in all the
Star
legendary
Wars.
movies. Wait, what movie?
He's the voice of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
Who's Darth
this.
Vader's son?
Don't tell me. Don't tell me. Luke
There you go.
Skywalker.
Wow.
Boom. I got this guy.
Spoiler again.
Wow.
Another spoiler.
Yeah, that's a 50-year spoiler. That came out like
We need a-
79 or
we
81
need a
or
thing.
something.
Oh, have you ever seen the Simpsons episode where it's like,
Oh, I see the
it's
Simpsons
worse
movie.
than that time you spoiled Star Wars, and they're walking out of Empire Strikes Back, and Homer's walking by a line of people, and he's just like, I can't believe that Darth Vader's Luke's dad, and the whole line goes, oh, like,
Just ruined the whole movie.
Yeah.
That was a big cinematic reveal.
oh man, I wish, but every time I show Star Wars to somebody, I'm like, please. I ask them a question. I'm like, hey, do you know who like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader are? What their relationship is?
Father son.
Yeah,
Easy.
exactly. And everybody knows it, even if they've never seen the
Yeah,
films.
if they've
And
never
it's
seen
just
Star Wars.
so frustrating that everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Because I want to show somebody that does not know it, like, and see their face.
Are you trying to
Yeah.
are you
You
trying
know?
to own them and make them feel bad, or are you just trying to how?
No,
I think
no.
there's
I don't
he's
want
trying to see
no,
the- he's trying to
no.
see the
I'm
shock
trying
on
to
their
see
face.
like, I'm a Star Wars fan, right? And I was a little kid when I was shown the movie, so it was kind of just all in the world. I knew it was there. There was no like shocking, oh my gosh moment. But boy, would I have loved to have been a Star Wars fan in 1980, sitting in
Yeah.
that movie theater, completely hooked, and then he drops that line, "No, I am your father."
Yeah.
Right? And you're just like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, I want to see that reaction. I want to see that moment. But I'm waiting for somebody to like not know that when I show them Star
Right.
Wars. But everybody does. And the way you show somebody Star Wars, by the way, you ready? You want to go Rogue One first,
Okay.
which is one of the newer ones, right?
The first prequel one.
Yeah, you know why? Rogue One is one of the newer ones. So all the great special effects there, you're going to get them locked in terms of modern movie making. They don't have to deal with any of the old equipment. Sets up, you don't really need to know anything heading into Rogue One. You could literally just watch that movie and not know anything about Star Wars whatsoever. It explains it all pretty well. And then you roll into episode 4 because they roll into each other.
Yeah, they do.
Then you do episode 5, right? Because episode 4 and 5 follow each other pretty well. Now you have the whole universe set up. Everybody pretty much understands what's going on. Then you drop the cliffhanger after 5, and then you don't show 6. You go back to 1.
I went
Because you have, hold on, Clayton. You have the, I didn't mean to be rude to you. I apologize.
No, you're good.
Right?
You're good.
You have the cliffhanger after 5, right?
Yeah.
So you have this like big moment, and then you go back to 1, 2, 3 and show the audience that the cliffhanger actually happened.
Okay.
Right? You
I
explain
see
the
that.
character
Yeah.
of Anakin, right? Then you go to episode 3, and in episode 3, there's a lot of mirroring moments. Like you have Anakin, a lot of mirroring moments with episode 3 and episode 6. So then you do episode 3 into episode 6. So you have the fall, redemption, back to back. You get this full, complete story.
Yeah, big
and then
battle.
you toss in 7 and 8. And Han Solo, whenever. Han Solo just doesn't really fit. You really need to know that character heading into that movie.
Yeah, you definitely need to.
But Rogue One, 4, 5, 1, you can skip 1 too. You don't need 1. If you're crunched on time, because the storylines in 1 you don't really need.
Yeah.
They're nice, but it's you don't need it.
The only thing
1,
you
2,
really
3,
need in 1
6.
is like Anakin as a kid meeting Padme as like a young woman.
Yeah, but then it's kind of creepy.
Yeah,
The next
it's
episode.
definitely creepy if you look at it like that. And then like Obi-Wan.
But she's supposed to be
being-
14 in that, and he's supposed to be like 8,
yeah,
so it's fine.
Yeah, it's 6 years.
Because in 10 years later, he's 18, she's 24.
Yeah,
which
fair.
is completely okay.
That's completely okay, especially in space. So
And in a
in
movie.
a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, I like that
My.
order. That's definitely interesting. But I did like when I saw Rogue One in theaters, like walking out of that theater, I was like, that was one of the best Star Wars movies that I've seen, because I don't know, it just kind of brought all that stuff together from, like, you know, 4 and everything. Remember how they're like making the battle plans? He's like, many Bothans died to procure us this information or whatever Akbar says, and you're just like, what the hell's a Bothan? And Rogue One, you find out what all led into that, how they found out, and then why there was because that you like, you see those movies, you're like, that's a big plot hole. That there's just this a big weakness in this, you know, big Death Star starship.
Dude, no, you
Why
got
is
it.
there one?
You got it
Now
exactly
you know.
right. You just got the Bothans wrong. The Bothans stole the plans to the second Death Star.
Yeah, okay.
You knew
I
that.
got you.
No, I knew you knew
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I got you. But
So,
yeah,
but the
yeah.
Rebel spy, all the other points were exactly right. No.
Okay. Yeah.
I'd see that's a Star Wars nerd. In me.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is why I'm gonna just start correcting people, and I don't like that. It's not fun. It's not. It is fun. Actually, it's a lot of fun. I'd love to do that.
But
the rest
yeah,
of my
so,
life.
I mean, but yeah, just like it gives you that whole thing. Just like, yeah, why was there just this easy thing to do to destroy this entire starship that could blow up planets?
No, that was awesome to
And
see.
then,
wasn't
and
it?
then now you know exactly why.
And you get this father-daughter relationship
Yep.
that happened. War becomes so much more real. Have you ever read the book Lost Stars?
No, I can't say I have.
So it's a adapted. It's a Star Wars book, and the way Lucasfilm sets it up is that it's within the storylines of the films. Right? It's a romance novel essentially, but it's these two kids. They grow up together on the same planet. She's the wealthy elite. He's the poor. The wealthy elite are all about loyalty, but they both join the Empire because the Empire is supposed to be this good thing originally, right?
Right.
They fall in love at the academy. They both go into service, and they're in love. And he leaves for the rebellion, but they stay in love still. And then it's her job to track him down, but she'll keep finding him and not turning him in. And they'll have these they'll have these meetings, and it's so cool if you're a Star Wars fan because it weaves the story. So they'll be there at major events from the film, and you'll see it from their angle, their side. It'll describe like the Empire. It'll describe all those really interesting, in-depth things. It is the best. It's one of the top 5 books I've ever read.
That's
in terms
insane.
of how quickly I was going through the pages, and the story at the end, emotional. It was awesome. It was incredible. An incredible book. Lost Stars. Really recommend it. Really recommend it. What's up? What time is it?
It is 8:51. However, I just this is my.
That's our
about-
warning that we're coming near
Yeah,
the end of the podcast.
I was kind of just
That's
trying to get a
unfortunate.
warning out there. 8:51. But my thing is
Get that mic closer. Buddy.
okay. Like you were talking earlier about all these movies a certain order. Why did they release the movies in the order they did, and then not want
That's a
me
good question.
want me
I
to
don't know.
then like
It is a
that's
good
what
question.
that's where I struggle
No,
with.
this is why you're
how
here.
do I get hooked on a Star Wars series if I don't watch it in the order they actually made them?
I mean,
I think that's where I get frustrated when I talk to you about Star Wars
Yeah.
because if I want to
because-
watch
dude,
them,
because- but
I
it
want to
doesn't-
watch
it
them in
doesn't,
the
like-
order they were made
Well,
in.
it's like
because I
his,
think
do
that
you
gives
learn
me a newfound
when you
respect
take a
for it.
but when you take a history class, do you start from the beginning of time and move forward? No, you do the important events, right? And then you craft the narrative around it, right? You build the characters. That's how we learned in history class. So you got to think it like that. It's not like you don't need to see each subsequent movie, right, to really understand it. I think if you start with 4, you'll be fine. And the way I said to watch it is the best way to watch it to understand the story the best. Because if you start at 1, in episode 1, they put a lot of references in there to the past movies. Because when that movie was released, it was released in 1998, and they knew that everybody in the theater that day had seen Star Wars before.
Yeah.
So that's why the movie should not be watched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It should not be watched that way at all because that's not how the films were designed. If you want the true experience, Rogue One does a very good job of not trying to do fan service, not do other references. So you go Rogue One, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3.
I saw Road One
6,
with you,
7,
right?
8. Yeah.
Okay.
And you liked it.
Chatting.
You
Yeah.
liked it.
No,
It was
I
a
did.
good
I
movie.
did like it.
it's a very
It's a good movie. The Darth Vader scene at the end.
That was insane.
I wanted that so bad.
such-
Oh my gosh. I was watching trailers for that film for nearly a year. And I was saying all I want, because there were rumors that Darth Vader was in it, but they wouldn't put him in any trailers. And I was like, all I want in the world is just a dark hallway, 20 rebels, lightsaber on, and then he just slaughters them.
And that's exactly
what I got.
He does
it was amazing. That to me is my favorite 2 minutes of cinema of all time.
Yeah. When he force pushed that guy up and then just sliced him in half. Like that was savage. It takes a special kind of evil and skill to just do that, and he just did it. He's just like it was nothing. That was a great scene.
I think that the character of Anakin Skywalker is a great lesson for us all, though. Okay. I think he's the most interesting character in the history of film, right? Because think about the circumstances of his life, right? He is this Messiah-like figure born from the Force, right? He's supposed to be this hero. He's gifted this great power. He's stripped away from his mother because of these archaic rules of the Jedi, right? His mother is a slave. He grows up a slave. This tragedy. But out of this tragedy, he's a great light force, right? He's a great light character. He cares for people. He loves. He was born of this great power. He loves so much that that's his downfall. He loves so much that he thinks that he needs to accrue more power to keep what he loves. And it's a great lesson for us in life that the best way to love fully is to not pursue power. Yeah. Not pursue power in relationships, not pursue power over death, not pursue power over other people, because pursuing that power takes away the love. It killed Padme. Mm-hmm. Like that is such a really interesting story. And I love, people are like, oh, he made the turn so quickly in episode 3. It was just like, slice off Mace Windu's hand, now you're Darth Vader. That's not it at all. He knew that to become the level of dark side that he needed to be, he needed to start doing a lot of dark side things that he didn't want to do, and that it would slowly chip away at his soul as he did them. Mm-hmm. And that's why you see in the movie like him tearing up, him crying. It is literally ripping apart who he is. He loved this girl so much, this idea of her so much, this unborn baby so much, that he is ripping apart his own soul to try to save her, right?
Yeah.
He's pursuing this power over a situation that he simply does not have. And I think that's a great lesson for life, is just, hey, you got to let be what's going to be, and you got to control what you can control. And don't try to control too much, because as soon as you try to control too much, it's like a bar of soap, everything in life. You squeeze it too hard, it'll pop right out of your fingers. And if you're in a prison, it's a bad thing.
Right.
I have never heard an analogy like that ever.
But
the bar of soap, you squeeze it, and that just...
Yeah, it's like life, man. You can't squeeze the bar of soap too hard. It'll pop right out of your fingers.
It will pop right out of your hand. But I do like everything you said about Anakin there. And it might not necessarily be power, but if you're doing something that's ripping your core apart on the inside, you probably should stop doing it. Yeah. Like, I mean, if you're at...
Because it'll change who you are.
Like, I mean, here's like a scenario. If you're at, working a job or at a company that's not necessarily doing right things, but... you on one side, you're getting your steady paycheck, all that's going good. You have bills to pay and everything. But also you're doing things that you don't agree with, things that aren't you. So because my business class has a lot of scenarios like this I have to write about. So I think about this stuff a lot, where I hope that if I'm ever in that situation, I have the wherewithal to probably leave it, because I don't think that paycheck is worth a peace of mind. Honestly. And like you were saying with Anakin there, it's just like he was tearing himself apart because he wanted one thing, Padme to be safe, but then it ended up, killing him.
Yeah.
Well, not killing him, but I mean,
wow, another spoiler out here.
Eventually, but damn near. I mean, he got every limb chopped off and he got set on fire.
But it's just so sad because all of his intentions to start were pure and good.
Yeah.
And it's also a lesson that your intent is not necessarily what matters. It's the actions that lead you to whatever you're trying to do. Right. Well, I meant to do this. Well, sorry. This is how it was perceived. This is what you actually did. Like, I get you meant well. You still screwed up. Mm-hmm. Right. And I the same with politics. There are some laws that are enacted that we criticize people for. It's like, you're saying that they don't love this country? No. I'm saying they had a horrific idea about how to run the country. And that's just kind of,
Yeah.
It's a tough scenario of life, as a lot of these things. A lot of things in life are different than what our logic says they should be, right? We think that we want to seek comfort because it feels like, oh, this feels the best, just sitting back at the end of a hard day. But if you won the lottery tomorrow, Riley, and you just, sought out comfort and just sat around all day and did nothing for the rest of your life,
I couldn't do that.
you wouldn't like that.
I couldn't.
You would even get tired of partying. You would get tired of just going out every day. You get tired of playing golf every day. You would need to do something.
Yeah.
Something productive, something that just drives you, right? You have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable, I think. And I think those are wise words that have been said by a lot of wise people, is you got to be uncomfortable to become comfortable. And we mentioned you squeeze too hard, you think you want to hold on. You squeeze too hard, you let it go. And I think there's a lot of things in life that are the exact opposite of what you think they need to be, right? A connection for a job. You want somebody to be your connection to hook you up with a job. Everybody thinks that you need to go to them and say, hey, you need to give me a job. And it's the exact opposite. The best connections in your life will be accidental. The best connections in your life will be friends, will be people who legitimately care about you. You legitimately care about them. And through that, they give you an opportunity. Through that, they hook you up with somebody that can give you an opportunity. And people have that so wrong about connections.
Yeah.
They see this famous person come on campus and they're like, I really want to talk to that person because that person's going to give me a job. No, you should be like, I really want to talk to that person because that person is interesting and I can learn something from them. And then if you just try to learn something from them, they'll genuinely see that interest. They'll see that goal to learn and to get better. And I think they'll respect you more for it, and you can get more really in-depth professional connections that way.
Yeah, I agree.
We've had a deep podcast, buddy.
Yeah, we have.
It was fun, though.
It was pretty fun.
A lot of fun.
I want to do it again.
Dude, you got to get Craver on here.
Yeah.
Said he's a lot of fun.
We can get Craver on here, I'm sure.
Sacco, too. We could fill this whole table up, to be honest.
I don't know about Sacco,
with the
man.
boys.
I don't know about Sacco, man. I love him to death, but, man, I don't know. He say some stupid stuff on here.
What? I mean, we've said some stupid
I've
stuff.
seen him preach, and I swear when he preaches, he'll go over the same point 5 times. He'll just say it
I feel like
a different way.
I feel like I'm the exact same way. By the way, random fun fact, Clayton's
God.
fun fact
of the day.
Yeah, Clayton's fun fact of
More
the
like
day.
of the hour.
I literally, since we talked so much Star Wars, I almost wore the Cincinnati Red shirt. Lucas, you know which one I'm talking about. That has the Star Wars Stormtrooper on it that we got at the Reds game 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I was debating wearing
Red
that
shirt.
today.
I had an opportunity through the radio station that I work for to go to a Reds game in a suite on Star Wars firework night.
Nice.
And Star Wars giveaway night. The suite was all you can eat. We got free parking in the underground garage directly beneath the stadium.
Bet.
And they gave us tickets right next to the stage for the post-game concert. So that might have been my greatest sporting event experience.
All I'm saying
no
is
doubt.
thanks for the invite.
Were you not?
I wasn't at that.
I had 1+1. But, I hope she had a good time. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's get out of here. This has been MorOUns.